We're at our garage and testing facility. Let's see what we're going to be driving this video. It is the new and improved 2019 Jeep Cherokee. And this particular example not only has the 4x4, but has the Trailhawk off-road package, which we will talk about later. As a rule, when I'm presenting a new vehicle, I have it washed and waxed, but you might have noticed this is a bit on the dirty side. That's right. Got a lot of dust on it. It's going to stay that way because if it's a real Jeep, it needs to have dirt on it. If it doesn't have dirt on it, it's not being used the way a Jeep should be. So I'm going to keep this dirty all week until it's time to turn it in. Then I'll wash it so it'll be nice and clean when they get it back. In the meantime, there are two significant changes put on the new 2019 model year. There is a brand new turbocharged engine available. That's it right here. We'll talk about that later in the video. And instead of the headlights being on the bottom, the parking lights on top, they did a switch. Parking lights are now on the bottom and the headlights on top. Although I'm demonstrating this around the state, nobody seemed to notice. Oh well. As in all my videos, one of the first things we do when we get a vehicle is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform, and we're going to do that right now. It's dark enough. Let's check out these headlights and see how they perform. Here we have the low beams on a building 100 feet away. Very bright light. Adequate height. Go to high beam. Plenty bright for me. Looks pretty good. Here we have the high beams on a building 300 feet away with a chain link fence in between. Lots of bright light, a good wide spread. Certainly nothing to complain about. Go to low beam. Reaches out around 265 feet. Adequate for city driving. No complaints there. Another feature we've been doing on our videos since the summer heat is here is taking our infrared thermometer and measuring the temperature of various paint colors to see how they perform in the sun. And we're going to do that next. Right now the weather is clear, sunny, with an outside temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And taking the temp off the rear of this white vehicle, we get a reading of 122 degrees. Compared to this black SUV that's been sitting out in the sun, which is showing a nice crisp 177 degrees. The bottom line, if you live in a hot climate, you don't want a dark color like black, you need a lighter color like white. On the other hand, if you live where it snows, maybe you want the black color to stay warm. Know the difference before you buy the vehicle. In any case, it's going to be 115 degrees today, so I'm glad I got this lighter color. If you're taking this off-road, you really should order the Trailhawk Package, and let's see what you get for your money. You get a beef suspension with larger wheels and tires, of course. You get a tow hook on the rear, in case you get stuck. 2 tow hooks on the front. Got some skid plates under there somewhere. I'd crawl under and show you, but that cement's kind of hot today. No thanks. You get 4x4 low mode, locking differentials, hill descent, move on down, automatic 4x4, snow, sport, sand, mud, and rock. Everything you need. Hooked to the 9-speed automatic transmission with manual shift mode. And the 3.2 liter V6 engine and other goodies brings you up to $33,000, which is a bit more than the $24,000 base price on the 2-wheel drive 4-cylinder version. Pardon my shaky hand, but I don't have a tripod anymore. This particular one was loaded up with all the luxury goodies, so we just hit around 40 grand. But in spite of all the list of goodies here, there's something missing. Can you guess what it is? What we're missing on this particular vehicle is the navigation system. I was surprised for the price, but it turns out is demonstrated by a friend of mine who has a smartphone. You just plug your smartphone in a slot and you put that navigation on this screen here and use it that way. I can't demonstrate that because I'm a low-tech guy. I don't use smartphones. This is my Walmart $19 phone. I'm low-tech, guys, but you can get a navigation on here if you have a smartphone. That's the bottom line. Now let's get to the important part, and that's what's under the hood. The base 2.4 liter, putting out 180 horsepower, is a carryover and still available. Designed primarily for two-wheel drive vehicles. Another carryover is the 3.2 liter V6, putting out 271 horsepower. But the big news is what we have here, a tiny 2 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, putting out the same horsepower as the V6 pretty much at 270. But the big selling point is the massive amount of torque. 295 pounds-feet of torque on this 4 versus 239 for the V6. Jeep says that the fuel economy of this Turbo 4 is better than the V6 or the base 4-cylinder. Here's the claim mileage we get on the paperwork. If the fuel economy rating for this Turbo 4 is accurate, that's good news because that would be better than the 3.2 liter V6. And then the Trailhawk package far better than the base 4-cylinder engine, which is way overworked with this 4x4 setup. The only two serious engines you should be considering if you're getting the Trailhawk is the 3.2 liter V6 or this. And we'll be getting the actual fuel economy figures on this as the video goes along, because we're planning to put around 700 miles on this rig for a true real-world test. So stay tuned. I'm not going to spend too much time covering the interior. I've done that with 3 other Cherokee videos already, and this is more about driving, fuel economy, and the performance of this new turbo engine. That's really what you need to be paying attention to here. In short, you do get an excellent glove box with lots and lots of room in here. No complaints. Very easy to use climate controls. And like all Cherokees, we get a dirt shelf that collects all the road debris. And it gets all over your pants every time you step out. But hey, if you can have a dirty Jeep, you can have dirty pants, right? Part 1 of this video, show and tell, is over. For the rest of this video, all we're doing is driving, racking up those miles, checking the performance, fuel economy, some off-roading. So let's go do it. We've already done videos with the Jeep Trailhawk using the 3.2 liter V6 engine. It's a nice motor, no problem, adequate power, decent fuel economy. However, this new Turbo 4 just outclasses it. The Turbo 4 is smoother, quieter, quicker, pulls better, has a better torque output of 295 foot-pounds versus the V6 at 239 foot-pounds. You can feel it when you press the accelerator down. Thing's got a lot of guts, especially for a 2 liter. And we do get nice brakes, by the way. I really like this engine. If the fuel economy is as good as I'm expecting, this will be the motor to get. Yep, this is fun. This is going to be great for rock crawling. Lots and lots of torque. The only gripe, if you want to call it that, I have with this 2 liter turbo thus far is it costs $500 more over the V6 and is slightly heavier, which is kind of odd because usually Turbo 4s are cheaper to make than a V6 and lighter. But that's just the way it is. If you want this engine, you're going to have to fork up the extra $5. Let's see if it's worth it and do some more driving. Just for your information, the base 4-cylinder engine and the 3.2 liter V6 run fine on regular fuel according to the owner's manual. In regards to this 2 liter turbo, the owner's manual says it runs just fine on 87 regular octane. However, for maximum performance, it also says you should be using 91 octane premium. I've been using both, have not seen a significant difference in performance. If this 2-liter engine actually runs better on premium, they should have a sticker on this fuel cover telling you so, that everybody can read, and not having the information in the owner's manual that nobody will ever read. By not putting that information on the cover here, I think it saved 50 cents in manufacturing costs, and that's probably why they did it. But now you know, and you don't need to read it. You heard it from me. We're going to set the mileage computer at 0 and do a freeway trip. By the way, I filled the tank around 30 miles ago. It says I only have 202 miles left. That's not very far. I wonder how big this tank is. I'll have to look that up. With these giant wheels and tires, I'm getting a bit of a bouncy ride at 75 miles per hour. On the other hand, it's very comfortable, and the high-speed stability is excellent, and I'm not complaining at all. Most off-road vehicles with a raised suspension are rather noisy on the freeway because of all the air rushing underneath. This vehicle's pretty quiet. I'm very surprised. Wind noise is very low. If you're hearing any whooshing noises on your speaker, that's the air conditioning running full blast because it's hot outside, not the vehicle itself. Well, we're done with our freeway test with the cruise control set at 70 miles per hour. I was getting 26 mpg, but I turned off the cruise control to pass all the road hogs, climbing slightly uphill as well, dropped to 23 mpg. So, take your pick, 23 mpg or 26 mpg. The Trailhawk suspension and big tire package really hugs the road in tight corners. When you're on the pavement, I'm very impressed. Great stability too. Whoa, that was a nasty bump. We're going to get off the freeway and do some off-roading. After all, that is what the Trailhawk was designed for, right? We've got a lot of nasty ruts and big rocks on these roads, but I haven't bottomed out yet. So we definitely have excellent ground clearance, that's for sure. Come on, rock crawl mode. Let's do it. The roads out here are pretty rough. At the very least, you need a Jeep Wrangler or Toyota 4Runner to get out here. But our Trailhawk did a pretty good job, so we'll put it on the list of capable vehicles able to trek out here. A 1964 Rambler. That should be at the Brett Jackson auction, although might not bring more than $100. Another car didn't make it out here. We're going to take a detour and visit a cabin I have on a mining claim. I haven't been there in a while. Go see what it looks like, or if someone's squatting there, which is not unusual since we're about 10 miles from the Mexican border. So let's go. Well, I drove all the way out here to check out my cabin. I haven't visited here in a couple years. It's close to the Mexican border, and the wrong type of people have been using it. And someone burned it down. Probably a cook stove. That used to be my bedroom. Idiots. Oh well, we'll be staying here tonight. I can't believe those globe triggers burned that cabin down, man. After all the work I put in it, can you believe that?
That's a bummer.
No kidding. You did half the work, right?
Nope.
What do you mean no? Yeah, you're right. I did all the work. Let's get on with four-wheeling. I'm mad now.
I don't.
Well, at least the other building's still standing, but this is like 1860s vintage, and there's too many rattlesnakes in there, so I guess we're going to have to cut this off-roading video short and get back on the street. But it was fun while it lasted. I'm very impressed with the off-road abilities of this Trailhawk. That's pretty good. Someone raided my cooler and drank all my beer. Empty. Out here in the desert, I'm going to die of thirst now. No more videos. Now that we're done off-roading, we're going to hit the pavement, do another freeway trip.
see if we can bump up the miles per gallon figures. So here we go. Somebody's been playing with the matches again. Lighting off fireworks in the middle of summer fire season. That'll do it. Here's our second fuel economy test on the freeway. 120 miles, 26.5 mpg. Off-road vehicles like this with high ground clearance get a lot of air running underneath, which causes a lot of drag on the freeway, which in turn reduces fuel economy as a rule, so I would say this is a pretty good figure for an off-road vehicle like this. I have no complaints.
So after a week of driving, what's my take on the Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk? Well, number one, even though the 2-liter turbo doesn't offer that great fuel economy advantage over the V6, 20 to 26 mpg versus 18 to 24 mpg, I think it would take the turbo engine anyway at the extra $500. It just offers better performance and more pleasurable to drive. But be assured, if you choose the V6 instead, you're still getting a reasonable power plant that will do the job. And if I was purchasing a Trailhawk for myself, I think I'd get the base $33,000 without all the luxury options. Tack in another $500 for the 4-banger, that would give you a sticker around 34 grand. And then find a dealer that give me those big Chrysler discounts and maybe get myself a Trailhawk for under 30 grand. Now that I could live with. But keep in mind, if you don't watch that option list, they can soar way over 40 grand. Not cheap if they're loaded up with all the options. So shop around. Here are some links to other SUV videos we've done. Just click and watch.